जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिधर हारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिधर हारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन मीरा बनचारी मीरा बनचारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति सर्वदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपां सागरजातं सकगण रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादां सकगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगन्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुत देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपया सिन्धुभ्यश्च च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. We welcome to this weekly Sunday feast program, as Nanda Gopala rightly said. First, before I begin my preaching, I would like profusely say thanks to our Yatra leader, His Grace Bhagarupa Nashinga Prabhu, and His Grace Sumutra Devi Simataji, also His Grace Siddhaganga Prabhu, as well as His Grace Shantalakshmi Devi Simataji, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to do this seva today. Actually, I'm not qualified to be sitting this Vyasasana, but because I want to purify myself, I consider this as my own purificative process. So I humbly seek all your blessings, Vaishnavas assembled here, for your blessings, and kindly forgive me if I do any mistake, in my preaching. Kindly bear with me for any mistake that I do, say anything in the lecture. So the today's topic is about Vaishnava Aparadha and the solutions. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived about 48 years. Out of 48 years, nearly about 26 years he was in nearly 26 years he was in Navadip, and then he took sannyas and then moved to Jagannath Puri, and then he went to South India too, and then Varanasi, then to Vrindavan, then back to Jagannath Puri. Wherever the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, because of his dust of his lotus feet, the dust of the lotus feet, wherever he passed, whoever the devotees, people came across his way and associated with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everybody became devotee. Everybody became Vaishnava. So we wonder, he could have traveled all through his, for 48 years, but he stopped. Actually, he traveled about 6 years, if I'm right. So in these 6 years, whoever came across, the people whoever came across, everybody became devotee. Just by touching the dust of the lotus feet, wherever the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled all these years, the 6 years, these cities, during his yatra, everybody became devotee. It was as easy like like a cakewalk. So we could wonder why he didn't continue to do throughout his entire life, but he stopped after 6 years of he stopped. So it was easy for it could have been easy for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to make everybody devotee just by travel around the world, but he stopped. He stopped for a reason, because he not only just give Harinam, because he was giving Harinam wherever he went, but he realized that it is the people should also focus their mind in the Harinam, how quality we chant. So that's what makes a big difference. So that's precisely the reason he moved back to Jagannath Puri. He stayed for next 18 years or so, and then he was just focusing his mind fully in Harinam in Jagannath Puri, propagating Harinam in Jagannath Puri. So now, so from here, what we understand, what we should understand, we should keep our mind focused in whatever the devotional service we do. Especially, we mainly the chanting is the high priority in our life. So we have to keep our mind focused in chanting. That's the key message that we have gotten from this passage, from this pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are different types of aparadha, namely Seva Aparadha, Nam Aparadha, Vigraha Aparadha, Guru Aparadha, and Vaishnava Aparadha. Among all these aparadha, Vaishnava Aparadha is the most serious aparadha. Okay, so if our relationship with the Vaishnavas is to be proper, we have to maintain our relationship without any aparadha. If we are not able to maintain the relationship without, if we have any aparadha with our Vaishnava, that means we will not be able to maintain the relationship also with our devotees. That is for sure. So this also signifies that we will not be able to have our relationship with our Lordship. That is Radharani as well as Lord Shri Krishna, they will not be happy with us, because they know that we are not actually having good proper terms with our devotees, our Vaishnavas. So Krishna will tolerate, Radharani will not tolerate. Okay, we may be thinking that we are actually doing all the bhakti, all the devotional services, but Lordship, they know that we are actually not progressing, and we ourselves we will realize why we are not progressing in our bhakti. It is because we are actually not, keeping good relationship with the devotees, Vaishnavas mainly. We may be doing so many devotional services, like we'll be chanting, we'll be doing arti, we will be reading Srimad Bhagavatam. We may be doing so many nice devotional services. But we would be realizing after some time, after doing all these nice sevas, nice devotional service, we ourselves, we would realize sometime that we are not progressing. We are not progressing enough. The reason is that, we are actually doing some Vaishnava Aparadha down the line. Like along, when we are doing these sevas, we also, will be doing Vaishnava Aparadha. This is the main reason that we are not progressing bhakti. Even the chanting, which actually the purificatory process will actually take us closer to the Krishna, will not be proper if we continue to do Vaishnava Aparadha. Okay, so that's the first and foremost thing we should actually understand this. This is the root cause of not for us not progressing in bhakti or attaining the Krishna prema. There are 6 kinds of Vaishnava Aparadha. Like we start from one by one. When we see a devotee and smile, and in reciprocation, if we don't, stay, or if you don't, respect and reciprocate the same way, it's a Vaishnava Aparadha basically. Okay, physically, we may be there. We are interacting with each other, but the devotee in front of us, if we don't reciprocate the way that we receive, other devotees, actually it is a Vaishnava Aparadha. Okay, and second is blaspheming the Vaishnava. Blaspheming the Vaishnava, by the meaning, we talk ill about Vaishnava basically, devotees. So that's also one of the Vaishnava Aparadha. Attacking Vaishnava. Attacking Vaishnava here, it means not physically attacking Vaishnava, like physical, like a weapon, gun or whatever. It is not about attacking Vaishnava in that sense. Attacking Vaishnava means disrespecting Vaishnava, okay, or ignoring Vaishnava, ignoring devotees, okay, which is also considered as a Vaishnava Aparadha. And when you show anger towards Vaishnava, it is also a Vaishnava Aparadha. And if you don't offer pranam, okay, when we see Vaishnava, we should offer pranam in reciprocation. It's also a Vaishnava Aparadha. So these are the Vaishnava Aparadha that we are talking about. Okay, it is mentioned in Skanda Puran, Dwarka Magatmya Prahlad Samhita. It is mentioned if we do any of these Vaishnava Aparadha, we have to take 100 years birth, 100 times birth actually. So that's basically, it's a punishment that, okay, it is mentioned in the Purana that we have to take 100 times birth, okay, to nullify this Vaishnava Aparadha. And it's also mentioned, same Skanda Puran, Markandeya Rishi and Bhagirath is a disciple conversation. Markandeya Rishi is saying that if we actually see a devotee from distance, and if you don't approach to the devotee and say pranam, it is a Vaishnava Aparadha. And for that, that particular devotee has to undergo, the 12 years of whatever, the seva that we do, like puja, chanting, okay, whatever the devotional service do, it will be nullified. We are back to square one. Okay, so why we are actually discussing this? It is that much severe. It is not as simple as one might think. It is really a serious thing that we have to consider it. In Vishnu Purana, a devotee named called Sadadanu, a great devotee, he was doing all the saivas, all devotional services in a perfect sense. But while he was doing the devotional services, in one day, actually, he happened to hear his fellow devotee being blasphemed by another devotee. He was present for a momentarily, but he was just hearing his fellow devotee being blasphemed. For this reason, it was only he was hearing through the air, the words coming through the air, and for that he has to he has to take a birth again. He has to take birth as a dog actually. So this also mentioned in the scriptures. And another passage it is mentioned, Haridas Thakur. We all know Haridas Thakur is a great devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He actually, in his previous birth as Lord Brahma, he was Lord Brahma. And he was, Haridas Thakur also was put in a situation in one day that he was hearing fellow devotee being blasphemed. He was only hearing, he was not even blaspheming others, but he is exalted devotee himself. So for that he has to take birth as Haridas Thakur. So that is, he was actually in his previous birth, he was a Brahmaji, Lord Brahmaji. So for all these examples, we could understand how severe it is, to do Vaishnava Aparadha. So we should always guard against, ourselves not to do any of these Vaishnava Aparadha. In Chaitanya Bhagavata Madhya Lila, chapter 19, verse 213 and 214, Vrindavan Das Thakur says, raising arms, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Gauranga, if one can, just chant and not doing any Vaishnava Aparadha, he can go back to Godhead. Even for a moment, even if you utter once, but only thing he should not have done any Vaishnava Aparadha. So that is a criteria. But if you do chanting for a moment, you would be sure going back to Godhead. So that is a guarantee it's given. And also, so this is actually hope-giving message. So meaning to say, we can do any number of devotional services, okay, but the only criteria is that we have to make sure that we don't do any Vaishnava Aparadha. We don't even do, no need to do any sevas. Whatever we could do simple, we can do it simply, but only thing we should not do any Vaishnava Aparadha. Okay, but we may be doing great devotional services, but if you do Vaishnava Aparadha, it will nullify all our great devotional services, whatever we do. Okay, it is a simple message that we should get it. And there is also clear solutions given in the scriptures. The solutions given in the scriptures for sins, whatever the sins that we commit, the solutions are there. But there is no solutions provided in any scriptures if you do Vaishnava Aparadha. Only the other devotee, the Vaishnava, to whom we are doing Aparadha, he only have to forgive. Only through his forgiveness only, the Aparadha gets nullified. Okay, but there is no other options. There is no other solutions anywhere mentioned in scriptures. But for sins, yes, we have solutions. Like anybody does any sins, Tulasi Parikrama. By doing Tulasi Parikrama, okay, Brahma Hatya Dosha. Brahma Hatya Dosha. You know anybody what is Brahma Hatya Dosha? What is Brahma Hatya Dosha? Killing a Brahmana. Yes. Killing a Brahmana is the greatest sin. We know that. So that can be nullified just by doing this Tulasi Parikrama. Okay, it is given in the scriptures. Okay, and Also, the sins, whatever, like, what is sin basically? Any difference? Anybody can tell me what is the difference between the sin and aparadha? Sin unknowingly done. Okay. Hmm. What is aparadha?
Sin means we are doing something that means automatically it will come. But Aparadha it will not. It means we do it that
Take his yes. Forgiveness from that no, devotee or Vaishnava. Exactly. So sin basically breaking from the regulative principles. Simple as that. In the simple definitions. So we know what is the regulative principles that we should actually, as a minimum, we should follow. Like, anybody do intoxication, illicit sex, or meat eating, or gambling, or theft. These are sins actually. The human being tend to do. For this, there are prayachit. So it is mentioned in the scriptures. Okay, we have different prayachit for all these sins. Sins can be eradicated, can be nullified by doing prayachit. Okay, for the descriptions are given in the scriptures, but for the aparadha, as Mataji said, no prayachit. Only that particular devotee or Vaishnava we should take their forgiveness. Only through this forgiveness from the devotee, we can Vaishnava, we can aparadha can be nullified. Okay, so basically we can release from the sin, but we can't get released from the aparadha. Okay, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj says aparadha is million times worse. Aparadha is, I repeat again, aparadha is million times worse than the sin. Okay. Now let's take a few examples from today's lecture from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Leelas where which says that we should not do aparadha. Okay, we'll take some examples from this Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Charitamrita written by whom? Anybody? Any idea? Given by Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami. So there are so many Leelas mentioned. So we will take few examples from that. We will discuss about it. Okay, let us. The famous Leela is Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was 35 years older than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He always, always glorifying and chanting the holy name. That was his full-time duty actually, Haridas Thakur. He chanted about 3 lakhs times in a day actually. So he was actually in Bangladesh. He was living in Bangladesh, Vinaypule, a village called Vinaypule in Bangladesh. So he actually got prized, like he the people in his village, they glorify Haridas Thakur for his simplicity, for he always praising the Lord's name, chanting the holy name. So people were in the village, they were always glorifying about Haridas Thakur. Ramchand Khan, he is actually the who is the village the leader actually. He was not happy about the situation. He kind of jealous about what is happening about this. That basically he was not happy that people are praising Haridas Thakur. So he wanted to what do you call do some. Yeah, he want to defame by doing some things. He want to defame Haridas Thakur. He arranged a prostitute. He asked prostitute to go, to the Haridas Thakur where he was chanting. This prostitute went to Haridas Thakur place where he was chanting. Haridas Thakur said, "Okay, you please wait. Let me finish my rounds." Haridas Thakur used to chant 3 lakhs in a day. First lakh, 1 lakh of round. Basically, he chant loudly, so that all the living entities in the place where he was chanting get purified and get released from the bondage of when the creatures. I'm talking not only the people, even the creatures. So that's how that is his main intention, that everyone should hear the holy name. So by doing this process, the living beings, even the creatures, they get to hear this, and they get purified. Another 1 lakh chanting is, you do it through mind actually. And the third 1 lakh, actually, he do it but for himself, basically. So this is how he scheduled his in a day. So this prostitute came, and she told him that I wanted to be united with you. Haridas Thakur said, I have my round to be finished, so please wait. I will fulfill your desire. So Haridas Thakur kept on chanting. The time is going, and she could not wait, and she went and disturbed again. I have not finished my 3 lakh rand chant. You have to wait. By the time it already got delayed, she had to go back. And then she came back on the second day. Again, she requested further. Again, he took the time to complete the chanting. Again, it got delayed. So she had to go back again. And the third day, she came. By the time, she had these 2 days association with the Haridas Thakur because he was a pure devotee. She got benefited for 3 reasons. One, she was hearing the Harinam, and second, he was also having association with the pure devotee Haridas Thakur. Third, she had an opportunity to touch the dust of the lotus feet of the Haridas Thakur. Because she was sitting just next to him. So the dust of the lotus feet of Harinam, so it was touched by this lady. So automatically she became purified, and got all her sins removed actually. So when she came the third day, she herself changed her mindset, and she bowed down to Haridas Thakur, and she asked for forgiveness from the Haridas Thakur. And she now became a renounced lady, and she said, Haridas Thakur asked this lady, okay, you renounce all your wealth, give all your wealth to charity, and you become full-time devotee. And she wanted Haridas Thakur, she wanted to go with Haridas Thakur wherever he went. But Haridas Thakur said, no, you should not come with me. You better stay here. You propagate the chanting of the Haridas, make devotees. And he instructed him. So this actually made this Ramchand Khan, the village leader, to get made disappointed, because he didn't expect to go in this way. So now why we are discussing about it. So he did Aparadha by prostitute to the pure devotee Haridas Thakur, but he didn't get punished immediately. So what happened? But actually, it is waiting to happen in the future, that he will be undergoing the punishment for the aparadha he committed. After some time, Lord Nityananda was asked by Lord Chaitanya to go and preach all the villages. Lord Chaitanya settled down in Jagannath Puri, and he asked all the devotees to go preach all the villages. So Nityananda was tasked to go to this village, to come to the village where Haridas Thakur, this Leela happened, Vinaypule. So when Nityananda went, he actually came to this Ramchand Khan, the same house where the leader was living, and he asked for food because they are already renounced devotees. So he asked for food, for which Ramchand Khan he asked his his team, go and tell Nityananda Prabhu, this is not the right place to stay here. And his team went and told Nityananda Prabhu, you better go and stay in Goshala. This is not the right place. Nityananda Prabhu got angry and he left the place. So now this is the second aparadha committed by Ramchand Khan. Okay. Then after some time, what happened? Because he was not pure in his mind. Ramchand Khan was not pure in his mind, and he also forgot to pay taxes. Nawab, he has to pay taxes, but he forgot to pay taxes. That Nawab actually asked the ministers to go to this village and plunder their wealth, take away all the wealth, because they were not paying the taxes. And also they were killing the cows the Nawab, the Muslim ruler, and they took all the wealth of this Ramsan Khan. So he lost. Also, they were torturing all the villages. The villages fled, and they are also torturing Ramsan Khan family, their wife and members. So this is the punishment that he got. But when after some years. So why we are saying discussing this? So we should always remember that whatever approach we do for Vaishnava, it is waiting in store. Basically, it is going to bounce back, and we have to undergo that punishment. So that is the message we get from this past time, Leela. Okay, another story from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Gopal Chakravarti. Gopal Chakravarti was making fun of Haridas Thakura's, chanting holy name. Haridas Thakura always praising about this holy name. So he was propagating the holy name everywhere in his village. This Gopal Chakravarti, he kind of trying to, belittle the effort of Haridas Thakur. So it is Aparadha basically. So he said, you are always talking about the holy name, but it is not as potent as what you are thinking about, as what you are propagating. But Haridas Thakur immediately left the place. He left the place. So immediately he got leprosy. The person who Gopal Chakrabarti, he got leprosy for this Aparadha. The other pastime, Leela mentioned Chaitanya Charitamrita, Amoga. Amoga was a son-in-law of Sarva Bhattacharya. He was making a comment on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was feasting in his house. You are sannyasi, renowned sannyasa, but you are taking lavish prasad. So that is the comment he was passing on, which was heard by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he didn't say, Mahaprabhu didn't say anything. And they left. But immediately he got a cholera for that, uttering this word. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to know that he got illness, and he came back because he was son-in-law of Sarvam Bhattacharya. He don't want the devotee to, family to suffer. He just kept his hand on his head, chest, and he got relieved from the illness. So that is the what you call the ill effect that we get by making comment or aparadha to the pure devotee Vaishnava. Okay, so we should be very, very careful, before we commit or do any aparadha to the Vaishnavas. So here we could understand in the case of Amoga, which is son-in-law of Sarva Bhattacharya, also the Gopal Chakravarti was belittling Haridas Thakur. The punishment is immediate. But in the case of Haridas Thakura, Ramchand Khan, the punishment was later. But punishment had come. So that's the message. So whatever Haribol. So it is just only a matter of time. But we have to undergo the punishment. Okay, and for punishment, for Vaishnava Aparadha, we already discussed, there is no solutions. Only the respective devotee and forgive, only we get relieved from that. And we all know the famous Ambarish Maharaj, Durvasa Muni. Here also, Ambarish Maharaj is a pure devotee of the Lord. And Durvasa Muni was chased by Sudarshan Chakra just for making the comment on Ambarish Maharaj. So you see, so even the greatest exalted devotees are not spared for making aparadha on Vaishnava, pure Vaishnavas. So I don't want to go into elaboration in this story. We all know that. So we quickly move because I believe we need to also keep pace with our time. One day in Srinivas Sangha, there is another Leela that I am trying to discuss here. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so giving, is happy, propagating the Krishna prem. He was freely distributing the Harinam in Shiva Sangha. It's a place. And Srivas Thakur came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please, can you also give this Harinam to your mom, to your mother, Sachi Devi? Because Sachi Devi, because Mahaprabhu understood Sachi Devi, his mother, did Vaishnava Aparadha. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu know why he was not distributing, Harinam to his own mother. The reason Sachi Devi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's elder brother, what's the elder brother? Vishwarupa, yeah, Vishwarupa used to go attend the classes of Advaita Acharya Prabhu's Bhagavatam class. So he was so attached and attracted to the classes of Advaita Acharya Prabhu, and he took up sannyas. And he took sannyas and he left the home. Following which, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also took sannyas. So both of their sons took sannyas, for which Sachimata was not happy about the situation. And she know who is the reason behind for Vishwarup to become sannyas, which is Advaita Acharya in this case. So she was kind of not happy about what had happened, because both the sons took the renounced order and left the home. So obviously, mother, she always wanted the children to be with her, to support her, the family, to be with her. So this actually created an aversion, a situation on Advaita Acharya. Sachimata was not happy about this. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood about this, because he can know as a Lord himself. So his mother committed a mistake. Committed mistake means in her mind. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood that Mahaprabhu's mother committed a mistake. So he is not willing to distribute these holy names to his mother. So Srivas Thakur was not happy about it. He was happy about on hearing it. So somehow this message went to his mother, Sachimata. She was actually crying profusely. Advaita Acharya came to that place, and actually he pacified Sachimata. Then Sachimata took the dust of Advaita Acharya, and so that's how she got delivered. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to know that she took the dust of Advaita Acharya, so now the Aparadha got nullified. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed the holy name to his mother. So from this Leela, we should understand, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not willing to support his mother, was not willing to distribute his holy name, because he considered Aparadha is a serious offense. So he did not even spare his own mother. Okay, so that is the message we should carry. Okay, so in Bhagavatam there are many such examples, okay, of Vaishnava Aparadha, like Parshit Maharaj. Okay, anybody know what is Aparadha Parshit Maharaj did? Yeah, he put a dead snake around the Samika Rishi. So that is Aparadha. Okay, but maybe God's arrangements, that is different. But he did Aparadha at that point in time. Okay, and also Jaya Vijaya also did Aparadha to the four Kumaras. So what was Aparadha that Jaya Vijaya did Aparadha on the four Kumaras? Yeah, so that is Aparadha. And Raghuguna also did Aparadha to Jataparat. Okay. So these are the examples given in Bhagavatam. Okay. So, but they were all, were undergoing the punishment of doing this Aparadha. Okay. So we should always be careful about not to make any Aparadha, and we should always guard against our dealings with our Vaishnavas. And whenever we interfere, business with the Vaishnavas devotees, we should be very careful how we are dealing with the Vaishnavas and devotees in particular. We need to focus on sadhana. Mainly, we need to focus on sadhana, not to indulge in prachalpa or create situation or act in a way that actually consider aparadha. Because we do these things without even knowing that we are doing aparadha. So that's the most critical point. Okay, but it will not help us to progress in our bhakti. So this is important uh, uh, concerns that we should realize this. We will not be progressing. We may be doing so many good sevas. We will be doing so many nice devotion services. We will not be progressing in bhakti because we will be doing aparadha, unknowingly, uh, without realizing that we are doing aparadha. Okay. And as a devotee, what we should do? So now we have discussed about the leelas that actually involving the devotees or non-devotees doing aparadhas and the punishment they will undergo. So as a devotee, what we should do? Srila Prabhupada mentioned while we deal with the devotees, we should be dealing like we should consider that we are dealing with the fire. Okay, so we should consider that we are dealing with fire. What does it mean? So when we deal with fire easily, it will burn us. Similarly, when we deal with the devotees, we have to deal carefully. Otherwise, our bhakti will be burned down. So that's the message. Okay. So when he was Srila Prabhupada, when he was in Vrindavanam, he was looking at monkeys and he was passing the comment. See these monkeys. Maybe these monkeys have done some aparadha in their previous life. That is why they took birth as monkey. So it was just. So it is not a common. It is. So he could realize. He was just making this point. He was making the point to his devotee that we should not do any aparadha actually. Okay. It is like mad elephant destroying the beautiful garden. It is like that. Okay, we actually destroy ourselves for our own bhakti. Whatever we progress, we will be falling down. It is like actually acceleration and putting a brake actually in a car, in a vehicle. Okay, on one side we will be doing good nice devotion service. It is like accelerating the car to move forward, but on the other side we also press the leg, using the other leg, we'll keep pressing the leg. So what does it mean? The car will not move anywhere. So we'll be standing there only. No matter how many years we are actually in the Krishna consciousness, maybe 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, but we are unknowingly pressing the other leg on the brake of the car on the vehicle. So we are not moving anywhere. So we are back to square one. Okay. Also, it is mentioned that whenever Vaishnava is blasphemed, we should actually leave the place. Okay. See, sometimes senior devotee may be involved. We will not be able to talk to the senior devotees. The best thing that we can do is to leave the place. Okay. So that is what prescribed. So you just leave the place. Because you are, first of all, we should not hear the blaspheming of the fellow devotees. So we have heard, just a while ago we discussed. Okay, Haridas Thakura, he was a Brahma, Lord Brahma himself in his previous birth. Just because he happened to hear a blaspheming message of the other devotee, he took birth as a Haridas Thakur. Okay, and the other person in Satadanu, he was a great devotee. He actually was hearing the blaspheming of the fellow devotee. He actually took a birth as a dog. So forget about blaspheming devotee ourselves, but hearing the blaspheming of the devotee is also aparadha. Okay. So the best thing, we should leave the place. If someone, some devotees are discussing of other devotee or blaspheming, the devotee, if you happen to be in this area, in that time, we should better leave the place. Okay. Maybe because we do not have the courage to talk to senior devotee. Maybe at our level we can discuss, we can deal. Okay, but maybe if they happen to be a senior devotee, perhaps maybe maybe they are not doing unintentionally. Maybe they are prachalpa, they are doing prachalpa, they are talking just for okay. for the discussion point, but maybe they are doing aparadha, but we happen to be there, so we actually incur that aparadha. Okay. Okay. So there are situations where it is considered not aparadha, like situation like he may be a devotee, but he actually not following the protocols of ISKCON or protocol of scriptures. Like for example, devotee may be collecting money on his own and giving receipt from his own, but he is not passing that money Lakshmi to the temple. So in that case, we can tell the devotee what you are doing is not correct, or we can all the other devotees, please do not deal with this devotee. This is not considered as aparadha. Okay. So it is like maybe it is like a rectification of the situation. So we are okay. And the other one, suppose the devotees are coming late to the program, we can also tell as a fellow devotee, we can tell, please come to the program on time. This is not aparadha. So basically, we are improving the situation of the devotees. This is not aparadha actually. Okay. And also we can when we are conversing with other devotee, and the other devotee, we know by his character, he always do prachalpa, talking about other devotee, ill about other devotee. We can tell face to face, see, I want to associate with you, you are a good devotee, but the way you discuss about other devotee, the absence of them, I don't like it. So we can correct it, because we need to interfere. If we don't actually interfere, sometimes we are letting that aparadha to continue also. But it is depends upon the situation and depends upon the devotee. It's not that we can adopt this situation everywhere with everyone, but we need to take a call whether I can correct the situation. Then we can interfere. We can tell face to face. Okay. So these are the situations where actually we can correct. Basically, instead of leaving the place, we have to correct actually to improve the situation of the other devotees also. Okay. Okay. So once Rupa Goswami. So now we are actually discussing the solution to the aparadha. Okay. So whatever now we are discussing the solutions to the aparadha. Rupa Goswami, you used to actually foresee the leelas of Radharani, Krishna Radharani leelas in his mind. So it is that is his usual pastimes actually. So he always actually in his mind bring the Radha Krishna's leelas in his mind, and he is take pleasure in that pastime by thinking in his mind. And sometimes he was laughing, but he was in a trance, like he was thinking about the leela that it is coming in his mind, pastimes, and he was actually like he will cry sometimes, he will making he will laugh. It happened one day that one of the devotee he came. I was doing a Tulsi Parikrama, and that devotee maybe was maybe handicapped. He was not looking good, and he was doing Parikrama. When Rupa Goswami was actually thinking the leela of Krishna, Radha Krishna, he was laughing, and it appeared that this devotee doing the Parikrama, he was thinking maybe Rupa Goswami was laughing at me because of my poor form. Maybe I'm not looking good. So he took it as aparadha actually, and soon after Rupa Goswami could not actually bring any leela in his mind afterwards, and he was saddened by this, and he couldn't understand what had happened. And then he went to Sanatana Goswami. He was asking, he was just narrating this, and then Sanatana Goswami understood what had happened, and he called the devotee and he explained. It is not he was laughing to you. He was actually take leela in his mind when it's going on. That is why he was laughing. So he understood. That's how he got relieved from it. Immediately thereafter, Rupa Goswami started to thinking the leelas in his mind. Okay. So you see the exalted devotees. How they were very careful about removing the aparadha that they have committed. They actually, this is not intentionally committed, it is unintentional. But still, they were very careful about not to commit any aparadha. Okay, so this is the examples that our Acharya is setting for us all to imbibe. And it's also recommended, we should always hear from Vaishnavas, not to see from Vaishnavas. Okay, we should not we should not be judgmental. So this is what I know it is reiterated. So what it means? Hear from Vaishnava, not see from Vaishnava. It's also mentioned one example. One of the devotee was making parikrama of a temple, and then he put a dandavat. And the other devotee was seeing this devotee putting dandavat in a wrong way, because he was seeing this. And he made a comment to his senior devotee, see, this devotee is not doing proper dandavat in front of the temple. Then the senior devotee, he explained, no, he actually has spondylosis. He could not actually put proper dandavat through his head. That is why he was actually touching through his chin. Okay, so he explained. Then he realized that he did a grave aparadha to this devotee. So we should actually hear from Vaishnavas and get it clarified. If you are in doubt, we should not be judgmental or passing comment immediately without even understanding the real reason behind it. So it is recommended that we hear from Vaishnavas, not see things and make our own judgment. Okay. Also, if Mangalarti, if some devotees could not attend Mangalarti, so there may be many reasons for why they are not attending Mangalarti, or maybe they are coming late. They have their own reasons, for doing so. So we should not be judgmental about it again, or why they are not attending Mangalarti. So again, we should ask, we should inquire from Vaishnavas, hear from Vaishnava. Just because you are seeing that particular devotee or family not attending Mangalarti or coming late to Mangalarti, we should not be judgmental about it. We should not, pass comment. So that becomes Aparadha basically. So basically, we need to check and balance in our approach, especially dealing with our devotees and Vaishnavas. And also, we should not get angry. We should not get angry. This is one of the aparadha we discussed among the 6 aparadhas we mentioned. Okay, what are the 6 aparadha we discussed at the very beginning? Can anybody repeat? What are the 6 aparadha? So getting angry is one of the aparadha. Not to offer obeisance. Okay, the second, blaspheming the devotee. The third, attacking the Vaishnava, the devotee. Yes. The third one. Yes, not doing the pranams. Yes, getting angry and disrespecting the devotees. So these are the 6 aparadhas. So anger is one of the aparadhas. So we are just taking that point again. We are discussing it here. So angry, anybody get angry? It will come uninvited. It will come uninvited. Even initiated devotee get angry. To the extent even the initiated devotee within the family, husband and wife get angry. Okay, so I'm taking a practical example. In our our own family, so we get angry for reasons sometimes we don't know. It just simply come and we get carried by the angry. So here we need to be careful. It says actually as a Vaishnava, we should pass the button. Pass the button means we should not react to that situation. One of us should actually pass the button. It's very important that we control our anger at that point in time. We should pass the button. We give the time to other our partner. And honestly, it is also recommended if you pass the button, if courageously, and then you will realize maybe the fault is on us actually. Instead of blaming our partner, because at that moment of time we just want to blame or we want to pass the comment unnecessarily. That becomes Aparadha. Even though they are our family members, also it is an Aparadha. So we should pass the button for a moment and then we realize after give a 24 hours time, believe me, the situation, you will improve ourselves a lot. That's what is recommended. So it's a very important lesson that we should not get angry to the extent, with our own partner. We should pass the button. Okay. Also, we should have benefit of doubt. Okay. This is actually extension to inquiring from Vaishnava, not seeing from Vaishnava. It is an extension to that what we have discussed.
Okay, benefit of doubt, we should actually give advantage of the other party instead of uh, making a conclusive remark, taking we should actually give benefit of doubt. Maybe because of a situation that we don't know. So that is why he is acting or talking in this way. So we should inquire. Of course, you will take the route, inquiry route, from a Vaishnava senior devotee, you inquire from them that I saw this, I heard this. So what is the reason behind it? So you can take it afterwards. But actually, we should give benefit of doubt. Okay, don't come to a conclusion immediately. So that's very important. Like for example, if you write 9 and the other person from opposite side, if you see, it looks 6 actually. So that's very important. But it is only the perception how you see things, how you conceive from yourself, from your point of view. But from the other person point of view, it's totally different. So we should not come to conclusions. Okay. So it's very important that we give benefit of doubt to the other party, other Vaishnavas. Okay. And also we should think ourselves that I am a soul. Everybody is a soul. So surrender to the Lord Krishna. And the soul size is 1/10,000th time of a tip of a hair. So we have very limited knowledge. So our understanding about other Vaishnava and devotees also is, we are not exalted devotee where we can foresee. We are not Brahmaji, or we are not Indra, we are not Chandra, we are not, exalted devotee like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. We are not exalted. We are a soul this size, and our understanding also limited. So we have limitations in our understanding. We must understand that we have limitations. So why we are saying this, we should make judgment based on our intelligence. We should look at ourselves that we are soul and we have limitations in every respect. Okay, so we should take a calculative approach. We should always put ourselves in a submissive mode, basically. That's the point. Okay. And we should not see the presentation, we should see the intention. Sabarimata, Lord Ram, actually, Sabarimata was tasting the now, I know that berry, and she wanted, only the best berry to be given to Lord Rama. So we think, why that lady was actually tasting. It is actually, it's not the good way to do, but her intention is good. So basically, we need to look at the intention of the devotees, Vaishnavas, rather than the presentation. We should actually look at what is the intention behind why they are doing what they are doing. Okay, so we should look at the intention, not the presentation. Okay. So we have to give 100 out of 100. Okay. Okay. Also, we should sincerely pray to Lord that I should not see fault in other devotees. That's the best thing that we can do. We should pray to Lord sincerely. Please God, give me intelligence that at any situation, maybe we will be coming across a situation where we see other devotee Vaishnavas, in a different circumstances where we might think, ill about them, or making comment or doing aparadha for them. We should sincerely pray to God that I should not be put in the situation where that I will be subjected to this aparadha. So if we can sincerely pray to God, in our behavior, in our dealing with the devotees also, Krishna will help us such that, we will not be put into the situation. So we sincerely pray to God. If we can pray, we sincerely, that Krishna will help us. So we can actually avoid, incurring this Vaishnava Aparadha. Okay. It's like, finding fault. If you find a fault, it is actually, in psychological aspect, it's mentioned, if you find a fault to any person, you find a fault on any person only if you have that fault in us, actually. So that's the, the psychological aspect of the human. So you find a fault only if you have that fault in you. Okay, a pure devotee will not find fault on others easily. Okay, we find fault on people only if we have fault in us, actually. That same fault in us. Only then we try to see that fault in others, actually. Okay, so message is that whatever the fault we find in others, it is because we have that fault in us actually already. So we should put ourselves in a submissive mode first. We are actually at fault. We are having that fault. That is why we are seeing the same fault in others actually. Okay, so that's very important. So for finding fault is easy, but we should actually introspect ourselves that we have that fault. First of all, we should understand this is the fact that we have that fault. That is why we are actually finding that fault in others actually. Okay, and other solution is the forgiveness. Is given recommended is ask for forgiveness openly. Go and ask the devotee, Vaishnava. You know that you committed aparadha for whatever type of aparadha. You go to the devotee. You openly speak to them. Please, I have done this aparadha. Please forgive me. I think that's the best dealing that we can have. You ask for forgiveness. So direct dealing with the people that you committed, and you take forgiveness from them. I think that's the best way forward that we can take it. I think that's the best approach. I hope you all agree with me. Correct? Easy. Why go zigzag and or thinking about it? No, not required. Make life easier. Okay, you have done it, so better go and ask for it. At least you'll be given chance to revive our dealing, so that you don't think about it, and then you move forward, so that at least you will be careful about it, not to do that again, because it is an opportunity we create ourselves, so that we'll have a better relationship also. Correct? Right. Also, it is not only to the Vaishnava. We are talking about the forgiveness also. We should forgive also our family members, and to the extent also our partners. We should forgive. Okay, for even small things that if we don't forgive, we should forgive. That's what it's recommended. Okay, we should forgive open-heartedly, even though they are our partner. We should not take it for granted. Okay, they are my family members. So what? Why I should forgive, or why I should seek forgiveness? But still, they are Vaishnavas. They are a different soul, right? So we should actually seek forgiveness with our family members also. Okay, because they are Vaishnava. Okay, that's the message. So this way, aparadha, whatever committed with our family members, can be nullified. Okay, this whatever we discuss, it applies for everyone. We should think everyone is a soul. Okay, they are actually the servant of Krishna. Okay, so our dealing always have to be that level actually. We should not take people for granted. Okay, even though they are family members, we should deal like everyone else. Especially when it comes to Aparadha, okay, the same protocol applies. Okay, everywhere, including our family members. Okay, and committing offense. Okay, if you are committing offense, okay, so when we commit offense, when we see the other person committing offense, we should think first. Okay, for sure that they have committed offense 99.9%. Okay, they may be wrong. But maybe you should think that 0.01%. If you see that you are responsible for that, you should think that you should magnify that 0.01. The mistake that you did, you should magnify it, and that you should put yourself that you did a grave mistake, even though the other person did committed mistake, and it is sure he has done it 99.9%. He is responsible for it, but you should actually take it as a serious offense, even though it is you are responsible for only 0.01%. You understand? So basically, we should put ourselves in a serious spot. Okay, so that's very important. So this way, whatever, even the smallest of the smallest, the offensive mentality that we have, it can be nullified. So ultimately, the goal is to go back to Goloka, correct? Okay. So if you are committing mistake, even if you have that tendency to commit 0.01%, you are sure you are not going to go back. So the ticket to Goloka, you have to put yourself always in the spotlight. So even if it is for 0.01%, you should see how you can fix this 0.01%. Even though all the other people in front of you may be doing so many other things, responsible for 99.9%. But we should try to fix this 0.01%. So this is the goal of life. So we should work on this 0.01% of the mistake, the aparadha tendency that we have in our mind. So if we can do that, if we can zoom in and focus on this and fixing ourselves, so definitely we are sure we are going to go back to back home, back to God. So that's the message. So these are the solutions described. I think we discussed about it. So it is easy to say, but it is with the practice it is possible. Okay, I think we have come to end of the our lecture. So if just to conclude, I just want to repeat again: 0.01% mistake. Okay, whatever the degree of mistake, tendency, aparadha tendency we have, we should actually try to fix ourselves first. So if we can fix it, I think we will be qualified with the Vaishnava's blessings to go back home to God. Okay, with this I conclude my lecture. And if I have done any mistake or anything I said it wrongly, please forgive me. And now I request devotees, if there is anything that you want to add or ask, so we can take it up. Hare Krishna. Yes, please.
If I talk about myself, I particularly somehow or other get into the picture. Get into, we may find peace hearing Katha for a while, like for 1 or 2 hours, but I am into the present world. So in that phase, make Aparadha also. And in parallel, we are doing our sadhana. By the time, and by the time we reach to that level, that only taste for rather than having a taste for the Aparadha also, like how should we manage that? Because we are in the Aparadha.
Yes.
And we are
Unknowingly.
This is going to be an unending journey.
Yes.
So how should we manage that?
We are back to square one, as you rightly. Thank you for bringing this point, Prabhu. So how we can get rid of the situation or improve the situation is to work on our mistake first, Prabhu. So maybe whatever, what is the priority we should first define ourselves in life. What is the goal of our life in spiritual? So sadhana we are doing, yes, we are doing so many great sadhana. At the same time, also we are doing aparadha unknowingly, perhaps most of the times, and we don't know even that we are doing it actually. That's the biggest part that we are losing our time in our life. So how to fix it is to first to understand, seek the guidance from the senior devotees. So we have to seek the senior devotees, because now you understand that we are doing aparadha and you are not having any taste for Harinam. That's a simple measure. The moment because you will realize after a few years, right? Not immediately down the line. Maybe after 10 years, after 15 years, we are still not having any taste for Harinama. This is the reason. This is the root cause actually. Because for all other things we discussed, you have solutions prescribed in scriptures. Even Brahmatya dosha, for killing Brahmana, you have solutions. You can nullify that. But for aparadha, no. So the only way to get the forgiveness, so go to the devotee, we should ask forgiveness directly. So that's a direct dealing. Or engage through media, via media, through senior devotee, and we can fix it. So we should first work on our mistake first. Get the forgiveness and work on our mistake. So we can over a period of time we can improve it. I think that's what I feel we should do. Maybe our other senior devotees can add to this. Yes. Brahmatya dosha is actually same, Swami. It's not a dosha. No, it is killing a Vaishnava. Killing a Brahmana is a Brahmatya dosha. Offending family members. Killing a Vaishnava is not offending his family member. No, you have done a serious, grave mistake. Killing a Brahmana. So that means you actually you killed that Brahmana, so the family members for sure they will be losing. So they will not be having, offense may be there, but the solution provided there, you do solution. Offense is, no, you have to take the forgiveness from the family only. That's the only way. You have to go and seek the forgiveness, from the family members. Harish. Yes. Okay. Bali, from you, sir.
This actually is a very serious topic. Actually,
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. So I thank our Yatra leader once again. Really thank you, Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity. Believe me, you are leading us, you are so merciful to us, so that at least we can progress a little bit in our bhakti. So we continuously seek your guidance and blessings, so that we may be continuously guided, in the spiritual progress. Thank you. Thank you all devotees for passionately, hearing.
We'll stand for Prabhu 3 times.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.